So when it comes to the NBA media, one of the biggest anti-Michael Jordan people we have is of course Nick Wright. And Nick Wright is the classic example of a snake oil salesman. He'll sell you half-truths here, half-truths there, and always leave out important details that don't fit his narrative. Now when it comes to Jordan, Nick Wright's latest argument is one of his weaker ones I've seen. As Nick Wright argues Jordan fans ignore his early career and later career when he wasn't winning championships. And even goes one step further, saying Jordan pre-91 was a total loser and nothing without Pippen. So of course those arguments right there are complete strawmans, and nobody in their right mind thinks Jordan only played 6 years. And I think Jordan's pre-championship years from 85 to 90 are actually vitally important to his overall career and debunk many myths about him as a player. As 80s Jordan, you could argue as an individual player, force of nature, was the best of all time, as he's an elite scorer, playmaker, and defender, averaging 35.8 points, 6.9 boards, nearly 7 assists, 2.5 steals on 51% shooting. Again, these numbers are out of this world and completely insane. And Jordan on both ends of the floor, scorer and defender, was the best in the world. As in this stretch, he had 14 games of 40 plus points, 3 games of 50 plus points, and 1 game cracking 60. That is roughly a 50 game sample size of playoff Jordan before his championships. And I think it's pretty important to note the teams he was playing as a lower seed, teams like Boston, Detroit, Cleveland, those teams defensively were routinely in the top 5. And I think one of Jordan's more underrated years before his championships was actually his first year in his rookie season, as Jordan, off the bat from game 1, was dominant on both ends of the floor and a really well put together basketball player in all aspects. As an 85, he averaged 28.2 points, the third highest average in the NBA, first in total scoring, 6.5 boards, 5.9 assists, 2 steals on 52% shooting. For his Bulls team, he was the leader in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, being second in blocks behind Jawan Oldman, who was a 7'1" center who barely played 15 minutes. And comparing rookie Jordan to the entire NBA, guys like Magic, Bird, Kareem, guys of that ilk, Jordan coming in off the bat played 82 games, tied for the most in the NBA, and in terms of minutes, ranked 4th at 38.3. You could definitely say rookie Michael Jordan was a top 10 player and an NBA superstar from the jump. As looking at who won MVP, that of course was Larry Bird. But many forget Jordan actually finished in the top 3 when it came to first place votes, only behind Bird and Terry Cummings. And look, when it comes to Nick Wright, his overall argument, it is pretty baffling, because it makes quite literally zero sense from a Jordan fan perspective to ignore this year and many years like this in the 1980s. Once again proving, Nick's overall argument is a massive straw man. And of course, like I said earlier, Larry Bird in 85, he won MVP, one of the greatest seasons of all time. But looking at other great MVP campaigns, of course you have 2016 Curry, 2013 LeBron, 2000 Shaq, among many others. When talking about the best MVPs, what's one award that is always brought up? Michael Jordan in 1988, before he won his championships. As looking at 88 Jordan, in terms of two-way impact, being the best scorer, the best offensive player, and the best defensive player, I don't know if any player before or since him dominated a single year like Jordan 88, as he won the MVP, as well as the Defensive Player of the Year. And what fans always focus on, of course, is Jordan's 40-point games, 50-point games, and averaging 35 points per game that season. And while that is highly impressive, all-time great stuff, Jordan, the defensive end, was just as great. As in NBA history, Jordan 88 ranked 7th all-time for the most steals in a single season. In terms of block shots by a guard, Jordan 88 had the most ever that hasn't been threatened in the past 25 years. And compared to his peers, ranked first in steals, first in blocks for guards, first in defensive plus minus, and second in defensive win shares. And my favorite stat about 88 Jordan, for a Defensive Player of the Year winner, he is the only player ever to average 30 points or even 35 points in a single season. Look, in the past, guys like Kobe, James Harden, T-Mac, even Kevin Durant have put up 32 points, 33, even 35 or 36 points in a single season. But really, none of those guys dominated on both ends of the court like 88 Jordan. And for a very quick side note, look at the 88 MVP race. Look at those top 12 guys on that list. Hall of Famer, top 10 all time, top 5 all time, another top 10 player all time. The NBA back in the late 80s was completely loaded. I mean, guys like Barkley, Drexler, Neek, Stockton, Isaiah. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Jordan being the best offensive player and defensive player in that NBA makes it 10 times more impressive. Now, Jordan's last year in the 80s was 1989, and some fans argue Jordan this year, from an offensive perspective, is actually better than 1988, as Jordan averaged 32.5 points, 8.0 assists, 8 boards, nearly 3 steals on 54% shooting. Since the NBA's inception, no player outside Tiny Archibald and Jordan have averaged 32.5 points or higher, along with 8 assists. Not bad for a guy in Jordan who supposedly wasn't a passer, playmaker, or a great facilitator. And all the talk about Scottie Pippen coming in off the bat, being this great player, transformational guy, I mean, in 89 Jordan was still carrying his behind in the NBA playoffs, whether it be versus the Knicks, the Pistons, or even the Cavaliers. I mean, Jordan at this point, he had the reins of the offense, was the point guard, shooting guard, kind of a combo mix, and had the ball virtually 24/7. And for a 19-game sample size, when he strictly played point guard, Jordan put up these numbers that are simply mind-blowing. 30.8 points, nearly 12 assists, 9.6 boards, 2.7 steals on 50% shooting. During that stretch, Jordan had 11 triple-doubles, including 7 straight, and his team's overall record was 11-8. For Nick Wright to argue Jordan fans ignore half his career because he didn't win championships is really downright stupid. As if Nick was actually smart, he also would try to ignore these seasons. As many of Jordan's years in the 80s, they debunk numerous myths about his career and his overall game. The overall myth he couldn't carry a roster, with nothing without Pippen, just a score, and not a great passer. If you look at Jordan pre-1991, all those myths and narratives are completely debunked. And again, real basketball fans, real NBA fans know, Michael Jordan played 15 years, and all of them count for his overall resume. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.